am the worst at being consistent, she said to me. I just always want to flake out. I commit to things and then I want to say no. I'm just not good at reaching out and remembering to initiate. I don't remember people's birthdays, and I just feel busy and I feel kind of overwhelmed. And consistency is the hardest one for me to do. Does that sound familiar? I've heard that many times, but in this particular case recently, she just was saying, I just heard you say how consistency is one of the 3 requirements of relationships. And I knew immediately that of the 3, that's the one that I am the worst at. And so she was asking for my advice on what to do. Basically, how to be consistent when I'm not consistent, when I hate being consistent. And it's a great question. So I've decided to do a series where I'm basically taking the 3 requirements of relationship. The first one was how to express positivity when you don't feel positive, when you are depressed or anxious. And this one is how to be consistent when you don't feel consistent, when you're more flaky or hate initiating and don't think to put that into your life. And the next one will be how to be vulnerable when you've been hurt and betrayed and you just want to feel guarded. And these are really important questions for us to explore, because we can look at what a relationship needs, all 3 of these, and each of us will have one that's hardest for us to do and that we sometimes resist. And so today I want to share with you a few ideas to kind of get your own mind thinking about what it looks like for you to increase the consistency in your relationships if you find yourself resisting it. And so the first one is kind of a hard one to say, but it's basically make your decisions on the valued outcome as opposed to the current feeling. And I have to give a caveat on that, because your feelings really matter, and I don't ever want you to go against your intuition. And I think sometimes our feelings just kind of are default modes where we just feel fear and we pull away, or we just feel tired and we just kind of flake out and cancel. And so I think sometimes our feelings aren't necessarily the best guide, because they don't lead to the way we ultimately want to feel, which is connected. And so maybe it's identifying how you want to feel and making sure that your actions are lining up with how you want to feel, as opposed to just naming only how you feel right now and then having your actions be an outcome to that. Does that make sense? So if I want to feel connected, I need to be reaching out and interacting with this person. If I want to feel loved, I need to be in relationship with this person. I need to be connecting and seeing them and talking to them. And so how I want to feel, the actions are required of me are to engage and to initiate and to reach out. And so it's getting really clear how you want to feel, not just how you default feel right now. We think about working out or exercising, and it's similar. When we're not in the habit of it, we can't sit around and wait to feel like we want to work out. Very rarely when we're sitting on the couch watching TV are we just going to suddenly feel like, oh, I want to work out right now. On the contrary, we tend to kind of, feel anything but that desire. And if we want to change the outcome to feel more movement in our bodies and to feel more energy and to feel healthier, then we actually have to say, okay, I'm going to go put these shoes on and I'm going to go outside and go for a walk because I want to feel this way. And sometimes we have to kind of work against that default feeling that's pulling us down. So this one's tricky. I certainly don't want you to go against your intuition. We all have the right to cancel occasionally. We all have the right to, to need to protect ourselves. We don't need to give time to everybody. And if you find yourself never feeling like you have the energy to reach out, it's time for you to think about how you want to feel on the other side and making sure your actions line up with leading to that feeling. And so the first thing is saying, I value relationships enough that I'm going to go past this fear. I'm going to go past this the lethargy right now that I feel. And so it's really getting clear on what you value and what you want, because you need to grab onto that outcome and recognize that the path to that outcome it's not being served by catering to your feeling right now. So sometimes it means picking up the phone, even when it feels scary, even when it feels like you're worried that you're going to intrude, you're worried what they'll think. Yeah, but you can't connect or ever feel connected to that person if you just cater to that fear as opposed to hope for the connection on the other side. The second thing that we need to think through if we have a hard time being consistent and interacting with people regularly is prioritizing maybe just a few people. So sometimes we feel overwhelmed and stressed because there's too many people we're trying to keep in touch with. And so really we just need to maybe identify a couple people. So grab a Post-it note and just write down the names of the people that says, these people, these 3 names, these 4 names are going to be the people that are high priority to me. I'm going to say yes to them every chance I can. These are the people that I will show up for, even when I may not feel like I have the desire or the energy. These are the people that I'm going to reach out to every week. These are the people that I'm going to make sure are a high importance in my life. And so identify a few. That will help you if you're feeling like you don't have much connection, it will help you kind of have a goal for a few. If you feel like you have too many people and it's spread out, hopefully it will help you say, okay, these are the people that I need to be most consistent with. And if I have extra energy after I've connected with these people, then I will extend it to others. But really, so many of us need to do a better job of zeroing in on the few people that we want to go deeper with. Who are the people you want to feel closest to in 6 months? And those are the people that you will want to practice consistency with. So valuing the outcome, how we want to feel in the end, prioritizing who it is we're willing to give this energy to, this very limited energy to. And then it's making a routine is one other really way to kind of like help increase the connection and decrease the logistics. And so what would it look like to just say to yourself, every Friday on my commute, I'm going to call somebody. I'm going to ask this friend if she's willing to, talk to me every Monday at lunchtime while I go for a walk. I'm going to just plan on calling my family on Sunday mornings and do that. And so it's locking it into something where it's in your calendar, where it's part of your routine to consistently happen. It's one less way for you to have to use up energy making decisions like, do I have energy for this? Do I want to do this? Who should I call? When was the last time I called? Kind of just the logistics start going away when you just start kind of lining up a routine. I think about girls' night that I used to have every Tuesday night. So many Tuesdays, it would come to 5 o'clock and I would say, oh, I do not feel like going out tonight. I don't feel like going out. I wish I could just sit on my couch and watch TV. But there were 4 girls waiting for me, right? And I was committed. So of course, every Tuesday night, I put my shoes on and I went out. And within 15 minutes of being there, I was like, this is what I want, right? And I never got home at the end of a Tuesday night and said, I wish I hadn't gone. I would have been much better off watching TV. No, I'm always glad I went. And the more frequently we go, the more meaningful those interactions are. Maybe if I only saw those girls once every couple months, maybe then it wouldn't have felt that amazing. I don't know. But the fact that I was close to them, I felt connected and seen, the more frequent I was, the more payoff there was. And eventually it took less energy to do and then more reward for having done it. And so the consistency does pay off. And we've got to just figure out ways to lock ourselves into a routine that says, I'm going to go do this thing. I'm going to call this person. I'm going to show up in this way. And I'm not going to ask myself if I want to do it or not in the moment. I'm going to make that choice ahead of time and say, those are people that I value and people I prioritize and an outcome I want, and I'm going to lock in. And then I'm going to do it. I'm going to build trust with myself that says, when I say this matters to me, I'm going to prove to myself and show my brain that when I say something matters, I do it. And that's how we build consistency with ourselves. We can rely on ourselves that when we say something matters, we do it. That'll help us in so many other big ways in this world. When we hear ourselves say, I want to write a book, or I want to travel the world, or I want to fill in the blank. If our brain has heard us say on little things that we want to do it and we do it, our brain says, okay, I'm with you. You want to do this, let's do it. So let's build the consistency with ourselves that we can trust ourselves when we say something's important and matters to us. And it builds reliability and trust in our relationships. When we say we're going to be there, we show up and we're there. And so yes, there's always caveats. There's always caveats to listen to your intuition and to listen to your body and to not overcommit. And if you're feeling like you want to be more connected to people, one of the best ways in is to start figuring out how to be consistent in a way that feels good and honoring to you with the people that matter the most to you. So I hope that you're willing to experiment with increasing the consistency with a few people in a way that leads you to feeling more connected.